Hey, MCE crew, a lot of bright minds, millionaires and billionaires, are telling us something extremely important, and we need to listen. We really need to take heed. And we're going to get into this and understand and delve into why these millionaires and billionaires are telling us this and what we need to do right now. All right, like the video, subscribe, do all that good stuff for me, share the video. I appreciate you. So let's just jump right into it. Palantir, I've talked about that company on the channel before. It is a company that I invest in. And as I told you before, take a look at the company, evaluate it for yourself. Don't just trust me. I may be investing in it for a whole different reason than you might want to invest in it. So Palantir has announced, or they really didn't announce it. If you look into their quarterly statement, you see that Palantir has actually purchased gold. Okay. They went even further and said not only have they purchased gold, but they will accept gold in exchange for their software services. This is huge. All right. So let's get into a little bit of it, and we're going to find out why they did this and why you may want to start researching this very, very heavily. Palantir bought $50 million in gold bars in August as cash pile grows. Now let's just take the headline. They exchanged dollars for gold, $50 million worth. The reason they did that, as you'll see, is because they've got fears about the reserve currency status of the US dollar. While some companies such as Tesla are diversifying into Bitcoin, data analytics software company Palantir is betting on gold. Palantir bought $50 million in gold bars in August. The company disclosed in its latest earnings statement. Now, let's talk about what Tesla did. Tesla made the move and they got into Bitcoin. And they did so for some of the same reasons that Palantir got into gold. They're looking to diversify out of the dollar, right? That dollar is having a lot of problems. We saw the United States ran out of Afghanistan on a rail. That precipitated the Chinese holding military exercises right off the coast of Taiwan because they smelled blood in the water and they believe that this debt that we have, what just happened in Afghanistan, a whole lot of social issues we're having over here, are conspiring to make us weak, okay? And the world is not going to recognize the dollar as the reserve currency too much longer. And I really believe that. And so this is why companies like Tesla is diversifying away from dollars into Bitcoin, and Palantir is diversifying away from dollars into gold. The move reflects a growing company stashing cash in an unconventional asset in response to economic uncertainty spurred by the pandemic. That's BS. First of all, gold is not an unconventional asset. Gold has been an asset for thousands of years due to its intrinsic value. Okay. So, with these, this is NBC. I'll link to it. But you got to watch these news reporting agencies, man. A lot of these people don't understand simple macroeconomics. They give them a laptop and just tell them to turn out content. The price of an ounce of gold crossed the $2,000 mark for the first time last year as the pandemic worsened and U.S. government stimulus efforts continued. Okay. The other thing with this is that we keep on spending. Okay. We've got debt over $30 trillion, and we show no signs of halting that spending. And every time we do that, we're making our dollar, our currency, worth less. Okay, so in the Weimar Republic, what happened was, in order to get a loaf of bread, their currency had been devalued to such an extent that you literally had to bring a wheelbarrow full of marks to purchase a loaf of bread. Something similar happened with Zimbabwe. They devalued their currency to such an extent that they had to print $1 trillion note. And it was worth, like, I think, I might be wrong here, it was worth like $1, a US dollar. It wasn't worth anything, basically. it probably was worth less than $1. So that's what happens when countries devalue their currency. They become worth less. And Palantir is saying, you know what? We're not going to be exposed to the full brunt of that. We're taking some of our cash and we're converting it into this asset that's thousands of years old. Now, let me give you something about gold that's a little cautionary. Gold is a good hedge against inflation. It holds its value. Gold does not produce an income. And gold's appreciation is pretty much in line with inflation, okay, and uncertainty and things like that. So unlike your home or a piece of real estate, any piece of real estate, all things being equal, it's going to appreciate in good times and bad. You're going to see it go up. Your stocks can pretty much, be relied upon to climb a stair step over time. Your business, the same thing. But gold is going to sit there and it's going to store value over time. Okay, it's not going to produce an income for you, but it will store value. So that's what these companies are looking for gold to do. Let's just go over a little bit more, and then we're going to move to another big-time investor who's doing the same. He's actually done a 180, okay, on gold. During August 2021, the company purchased $50.7 million in 100-ounce gold bars. It's like some James Bond stuff. Palantir said in the August 12th earnings statement for its fiscal second quarter, such a purchase will initially be kept in a secure third-party facility located in the northeastern United States, and the company is able to take physical possession of the gold bars stored at the facility at any time with reasonable notice. Palantir did not respond to a request for comment on the investment. That's serious. So because remember, when you get paid, it's directly deposited. You rarely see all of the cash. It's ones and zeros. But they said, no, we're taking physical possession of actual gold. We're going to put it in a James Bond-like vault somewhere in the northeastern United States, which means that it's going to be in the southwestern United States in reality. And there you go, Sam Zell. He's another one. Now, Sam Zell is a multi-billionaire real estate magnate, been in the game for a long time. And for a while, Sam Zell was really, not into gold. He brought up that point that I just brought up and said, hey, look, gold really doesn't do anything for me. It just sits there, doesn't really produce an income. And you got to believe that a guy like this is into that income aspect of things because he's a real estate magnate. He gets those rents, and in this instance, though, he's like, something ain't right here with the global economy, especially with the United States economy, and that reserve currency thing with the dollar is looking a little shaky. So this is back from May. In an interview with Bloomberg TV, billionaire investor Sam Zell revealed that he has purchased gold despite decades of vocally criticizing investors purchasing gold as an inflation hedge. So he has totally flipped because he's a smart guy. He understands what's going on. And look, man, in a lot of ways, this is looking like the last days of Rome. We got questionable leadership, so-called. We got out of control spending, unmanageable debt and deficits. We've got social unrest in the streets. We've got porous borders. We just, again, came out of Afghanistan in a very undignified manner, all right, after 20 years of spending a lot of money and a lot of lives over there. So this does not look like a country that is, on top of things right now. So there's a lot of concern, and these billionaires are leading the charge. Now, you might say, hey, well, what the hell do I do with this information? Well, hard assets, things that have an intrinsic value, like gold. There's a colloquialism that goes a little something like this. Gold still buys what it bought during the Roman Empire. Okay, back during the Roman Empire, you could buy a tailored toga, a fine pair of handcrafted shoes, and a nice leather belt for 1 ounce of gold. Now, if you go out here and get yourself a custom-made suit, not talking to you ladies, because your clothes are much more inexpensive than us, the guys, and you should be thankful for that. But if you're a guy, you go out here and get yourself a nice tailored suit, a nice pair of custom-made shoes, and a belt, and you're up in that $2,000 range, easy. Okay, so that's what we mean when we say gold holds on to its value. Okay, so gold, real estate, again, your own business, because even if this thing collapses tomorrow and we go into a situation in this country that the Soviets experienced back in the 80s and early 90s when they broke apart, even if we look like that at some point, and a lot of people are expecting this to happen by 2030, there's still going to be a need for services. Now, the type of payment you take in exchange for those services may not be the dollar, okay? Because by that time, the dollar may not have any value left. So the type of exchange method you deal in may be gold, may be silver, may be Bitcoin or some other type of cryptocurrency or something like that. I don't know. But what I do know is that our current path is unsustainable. There is no way in the world that the United States can continue to behave in the fashion that it has and expect for this union to continue and expect for us to maintain the world's reserve currency. Ain't going to happen. Okay, so start thinking about hard assets with intrinsic value. Start thinking about businesses that are going to be needed even if, let's say, everything west of the Mississippi decides to secede from the Union. Okay. Sounds hyperbolic, but in these days and times, you never know. Guys, I will talk to you soon.